Nominations, by their very nature, are a shortlist, and inevitably, some shows and some people, some actors are going to be left out.
What is a snub? A snub is...
It just means that people were left off the list.
Which super popular person you love doesn't get to go to the Tony Awards?
I think that snub implies that there were people who were expected to perhaps get a Tony nomination and don't.
Michael Park from Tuck Everlasting came in for our Facebook Live show, Live at 5, and we got to talking about how the musical was severely snubbed by the Tonys. I'm bummed that the show's not Tony nominated. Does it suck?
It breaks my heart a little bit.
And we did a poll, we did a poll on the site about like which snub are you most upset about, and it won like by a landslide. Everyone's upset.
Well, I'm thankful that people are upset, and I wish more people, came to see the show. It sucks a little bit to be overlooked, and it's not just.
You get great reviews and
critics pick.
Right, I know.
So
I know.
We're critics pick, but we're not nominated for a Tony. And that's just the way we call it the rub of the green.
Right.
Us golfers call it the rub of the green. It just happens. That's what's going to happen. But as long as the word of mouth gets out there and people come to see our show, that's what makes us happy.
The minute that a show doesn't get many Tony nominations is the minute that it might be in jeopardy and might be about to close.
There are a lot of shows that might have a certain faction of fans that really think that their show is going to get it, and it doesn't. And I have no idea how the Tony nominators make their decisions.
Every year the new Dramatists, which is an important organization for playwrights, throws a big luncheon, and it's sort of historically a really important luncheon for Tony nominees to go to. It's a very important stop on the campaign trail. And every year they honor someone, usually a big nominee of the year, and this year they chose, they plan these events way in advance. So they chose Audra McDonald as the person they were honoring this year. I'm assuming they thought she'd get nominated like the rest of the world did. And she wasn't nominated, obviously, but she still went to the luncheon. I went to the luncheon, talked to Audra. Now, we are here toasting Audra McDonald. Broadway let out a collective tear when she wasn't nominated.
I know.
What the hell happened, Adrienne? Come on, do you have any inside info? What happened?
I don't have any inside info, but all I have to say is...
Some people have some explaining to do. Broadway let out a collective tear when you were, as Kristen Chenoweth graciously says, not-minated this year. So it was like, everyone's like, what happened? Something happened in the world. What's it been like for you, sort of, dealing with people's reactions and sort of that whole...
Well, I think I was so relieved, and I'm thrilled for the people who were nominated, and it's an amazing time, and, but, it doesn't lessen, what I'm doing doesn't lessen what anybody's doing when they don't get nominated. It's just what it is, but it's fine. I think that my reaction has been trying to let people, I'm fine. I've had people calling me going, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
Right.
And as far as everything else is concerned, I'm cooking right now, I'm fine.
Well, so that's the crazy thing. So then you were secretly pregnant.
Yeah.
And you were like, wait a minute, guys, I got bigger news.
Sometimes I think that the fans are more disappointed than the people themselves. I think that getting a Tony nomination is a wonderful thing, and not getting one can be disappointing like that week. But that's not ultimately why people are actors or designers or directors or writers. They're here to do their jobs.
I don't do it to be on a list. I do it because I love being on stage. As far as like the Tony Awards, for example, you could have filled these categories. It's such a robust season on Broadway.
I know, you literally, it's impossible.
Filled these categories 9 times with completely legitimate people and legitimate talent. So the fact that I was even like part of the season is like an achievement for me.
Well, there were a lot of people there who aren't nominated for Tony Awards. So I wanted to sort of get people's perspective on going through award ceremony not as a nominee. A lot of times they do it as to support the show. Award season for me is really hard this year because I feel like American Psycho's didn't get the love.
Yeah,
that's what I want to talk to you about, because doesn't it suck?
It sucks, but it's also, I think that we're doing something different, and we're doing something that people haven't seen before, and I don't think necessarily know how to receive.
Right.
While being disappointed, of course, understanding, why that ended up happening the way it did.
I think actors are pretty much get over it fairly quickly. They often expect it. And it's like the Oscars. I think sometimes actors may be nominated for the wrong things some years and then are ignored other years.
A lot of really, really great performances out. and to see especially Brandon Victor Dixon and Adrienne in our show that got nominated. It's funny because they're two people that have never gotten Tony Awards before. And the people in our show, me and Audra and Billy, that have Tony Awards, we didn't get nominated. So, you know, it's pretty nice to be able to spread it around, and they're both doing, I mean, everybody in the show. It's really an incredible cast.
What I think is important about the award season is that this is the time of year when everybody really begins to talk about the theater, what's happening. And because the community is so important to me, I always like to keep an eye on it. And because it's a celebration, it's not a competition, and so I think that's important for people to remember.
Right. It's weird doing Broadway because you do your show, and then people start making lists.
Yes.
And then you're like, wait, there's a list. Like,
try not to.
Am I on the list? Oh, no, am I on that list? I'm on that list.
Yeah. No, but truly, I really feel like if you get accolades, you get them, and if you don't, you don't. But it's obviously an honor. You know, it's not like I want to be. It's not like I want to be saying like, no, thank you. I don't want my nomination. I want my nomination. Yeah. But I just try not to like be too attached to it. I try to hold it with an open hand.
All these lists, there are always going to be lists, and it's great to be on the list sometimes, but sometimes you're not. But I like to be in shows that I really believe in and that are impacting people.
Listen, if you're going to have a competition, if you're going to have an award ceremony, someone will be left off the list. Snubs happen every year. They happen with every kind of award that's given out. Someone will get it, that means someone's not going to get it. We touch on it, we acknowledge it for the fans, and then we move on.
Also, they have still to do 8 shows a week, most of them. So they just channel themselves into the show. They've still got a big job to do, and they're actually here to do that job.
My thing is about doing good work, and I think that's what I find in common about most people actually who have won the award. Your goal is not to win a Tony Award. That's nice icing on the cake. Your goal is to do some good work with good people, hopefully, and some good shows. And if it's meant to be and the stars align, then it happens. But it's one of those things we don't have control over.